Stand and deliver. It's Geek TV, back to spend more time with Doctor Who and the woman who lived.
Stand and deliver.
Do as he says. I've heard of this brigand. He's known as a Knightmare. Faster than Sam Swift the Quick, deadlier than Deadly Dupont.
Dabbling low pads, the pair of them, with terrible pseudonyms to boot. Cash bags, jewels, the lot.
I will not be robbed by some lone ranting cavalier!
Who says I am alone?
Now, this episode picks up with Maisie Williams' character, Ashildr, hundreds of years after the girl who died. And much like Ashildr herself, it's pretty mixed up. This is an episode that's part historical romp and part introspective character drama. And for me, the standout element of this episode is, of course, the relationship between the Doctor and Ashildr. There's lots of interesting parallels that can be drawn between those two characters because they've both lived for hundreds of years, they've both lost so many loved ones, and Ashildr is, or at least appears to be, what the Doctor fears he will become. Ashildr's story is, by its very nature, quite bleak, and while there's nothing wrong with that, I do feel like the episode stumbles slightly in trying to pack in all the traditional elements we've come to expect from a Doctor Who episode. So, when it tries to add in some humour, comic larks with bumbling guards or bungled robberies, for me that stuff doesn't quite gel with the sort of tragic nature of Ashildr's tale. And then there's the monster of the week, a fire-breathing humanoid lion, which just feels a little bit like an afterthought. So with so much going on, not everything works in The Woman Who Lived. Not everything has the time to work. The strength of Peter Capaldi and Maisie Williams' performances just about carry the whole thing through. Writing out Jenna Coleman as Clara, getting rid of her for an entire episode, that's a risky move. But I think it pays off because you get to really dig deep into the peculiar bond that these two immortals share. Perhaps the biggest surprise of this episode, though, and someone I want to single out for a special mention, is Rufus Hound, who people might know him best as a comedian, not necessarily as an actor, but he's actually fantastic, I thought, as Sam Swift. He's charming and funny and really quite sympathetic. My only complaint there is that we don't get to see enough of that character. Final verdict then on The Woman Who Lived. For me, this is an episode that's slightly overly ambitious. It sort of soars and stumbles in equal measure. There's lots of brilliant, disparate elements that do work and work brilliantly, but only occasionally does it come together to sort of form a satisfying whole. Well, that's it for this week, but join me again next Saturday for more Geek TV when we'll have an invasion on our hands, a Zygon invasion to be precise. So I'll see you then.